Okay, this is the Singer 301, also known affectionately as the big sister to the Featherweight. And this particular Singer was made in the centennial year. It is not a centennial model, but it was made in 1951 in Anderson, South Carolina. Actually, the first machine we've had from the Carolinas, so it really was a privilege to service it and to work with it. Just a beautiful, beautiful machine. And you can see readily why they call it the big sister to the Featherweight, because of this wonderful folding table that gives you a huge amount of flexibility as far as moving the machine around, but having a huge workspace for quilting and other creative work. And as we move through this machine, you'll see readily why it is such a coveted machine. If you follow us at all, you know that we just recently sold one of these 301s with a Featherweight, and we've had a number of people that have contacted us saying, I've got a Featherweight, but I'm looking for a 301, so here's your chance. Follow me to the right side of the machine, and I'll first of all show you that it's an easy track as far as winding bobbins. Here's our bottom track down here. We simply follow it up to here, rotate this bobbin winding wheel to the hand wheel, and once that bobbin is full, you simply rotate it back down to the body again. Right over here to our left, you can see that we've got stitch length control. And this 301, just like the Featherweight, has a huge stitch length variation. Anything from 6 stitches per inch all the way down to 30 stitches per inch. And I want to show you an example of that with this sample applique that we did. As you look at this applique and the camera kind of pans around, you'll see that stitch representation fully depicted in this applique. Right over here, we probably are fairly close to that 6 to 7 stitches per inch, and as we move in towards the center of the applique, you'll see those stitches go all the way down to pretty close to that 30 stitch per inch mark. And it just gives a beautiful representation of the creativity and the versatility of what this 301 can produce. It really is limited by your imagination. If we return to the machine again, and we start to move over the top of the machine, you'll see one of the wonderful features that they added to the 301 that the Featherweight does not have is this wonderful handle for moving the machine around. If you're going from one quilting table to another, or even if you're shifting the machine at home, there's always a little bit of an uneasiness about picking the machine up for fear of dropping it. This really was a wonderful answer to that problem. And it also, when you don't need it, it folds beautifully back down to the machine again, so it's out of the way. Threading this machine could not be any easier. Coming off of this spool pin in the back, and it's hard to see it. I will just carefully rotate the machine forward a little bit because I didn't point it out on the front of the machine, but it's got a wonderful flexible spool pin that allows you to not be fearful of snapping that spool pin off. The same type of spool pin that's on the back, on the front of the machine as well, that I didn't point out before. And coming off of that spool pin on the back, it couldn't be any easier to thread the machine. It comes off of that spool pin, goes across through this thread guide, across the top, down through the tension control, all the way up to the arm, and then all the way back down to where the presser foot is. Now this presser foot all by itself has a huge amount of clearance already, but it also has a wonderful feature, the 301, of a modest hyperextension that allows you to just raise it a slight amount more if you're looking to add one more layer of quilt batting, or if you're looking to sew through just one more layer of thick material. Also, the 301 has these wonderful quilters mark guides on the needle plate to allow you to measure as you're shifting the material through the needle to make sure that you have it lined up correctly. Also, another nice feature on this 301, I'll kind of rotate the machine towards the camera a little bit. Like the Featherweight, it has a very easy turning, basically a screw, I guess I would call it, to lower those feed dogs, so that you're not only able to sew a wide variety of materials, but you're also able to lower those feed dogs if you want to do freehand embroidery. So just all in all, one of the most versatile machines that you could possibly own, whether you're looking at doing quilting, creative sewing, or even heavy duty sewing. And like the Featherweight, it has the very same foot control as the Featherweight 221 and the Featherweight 222. So all in all, it's just a wonderful featherweight style machine, and able to do any sewing that we put in front of it. Also, we're going to be including an original owner's guide. This is obviously a reprint that we've had professionally bound. It will cover every aspect of this Singer 301 and allow you to maintain it at the high level that you'll receive it in. Like all of our machines, we service them inside and out so that when this machine reaches you, it's ready to go to work right away. And to allow you to easily maintain it at that high sewing level, you can refer to this manual whenever you want to keep it running at that top-notch level. This manual will also allow you to maximize this machine as well, so that you can produce great projects each time you sit down to sew. So make sure you check out our other videos as well that will show you the heavy-duty side of this big sister to the Featherweight.